What's going on, everybody? Welcome to THS Wrestling. This week in wrestling, hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. It's heating up here in LA, and we got a lot to talk about this week. I am John, and I am joined by Neeson and Jimmy. Guys, how's it going?
Living life like it's hot as fucking LA.
Dude,
I forgot what the 80s felt like degree-wise.
I know. We were so lucky for so long, and then what happened here? Matthew in the chat, what's going on? Ken, what's going on? Ken shouting us out on Twitter last week because he couldn't make it. What a good brother he is, for sure.
What a guy.
What a guy indeed. We're going to talk about Matthew's moving to Arizona. He's inching closer and closer to California.
I'm sorry for your loss, Matthew.
Matthew, I hope you have AC there for sure, my dude.
For
Please.
sure.
Please. Guys, we're live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can also check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/ths.wrestling. A lot of fun stuff going over there. The three of us, we make little 30-second or less videos, and you should check them out because they're great.
If you don't have time to watch any major wrestling on television this week, just check out our 30-second videos. We sum it up perfectly.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fun time. I apparently can make little videos now, which is great because I didn't think I could anymore. Matthew has confirmed that he has central air in Arizona. Matthew, we're glad because that means you can continue to enjoy our show and not burst into flames in Arizona. All right, before we get into all of our topics, guys, deathwishcoffee.com. Head on over there. Buy the world's strongest coffee. Use the promo code #show at checkout for 10% off. I'm going to keep saying it. This is the best coffee I've ever had. Bar none. All right, guys, let's move on because it's funny because our first topic last year when we were still trying to figure out our pandemic setup and like when should we stream, when should we do all this random stuff. I remember it that a year ago I got on stream and I went, all of these WWE wrestlers have been released. I really don't know how I'm feeling about it. And it was weird because I revisited it about 2 weeks ago I was going through our videos just to see what was going on. And lo and behold, WWE said, oh, you wanted to revisit that? Well, let's on the 1-year anniversary of releasing, I think the most people they've ever released in one go that I, in recent memory, can remember. They ran it back for us and they hit us with a bunch of releases, and we're going to just run through them right now. Samoa Joe, Peyton Royce, and Billy Kay, both iconics. Mickie James, former United States champion Kalisto, Bo Dallas, former NXT champion, who I believe beat Big E, and it was like the most shocking thing ever, and then he had a really long run. Anyway, he's been released. Mojo Rawley's been released. Wesley Blake has been released. Chelsea Green and Tucker, the other half of Heavy Machinery, has been released. A lot of names, a lot of surprising names in here. I think it's weird because last year we were in the beginning of the pandemic and no one was doing anything, really. I mean, WWE and maybe AEW were the only two companies that were like running shows, but nobody else was doing anything. So if you weren't going to get signed to AEW, you were kind of just like hanging out. And it was really concerning. I think now, like, listen, all these releases, I hate when any wrestler loses their job because you never know. But I feel like we're in a better place to where travel's opening up and there's a lot more places to work that I don't think it hits me as hard. There, like Samoa Joe getting released, let's just talk about that. That is, I don't know if they wouldn't clear him to wrestle. I don't know if It's just very weird because they replaced him on the Raw commentary after Mania. They were like, yeah, he's gone. And then they just booted him. He's gone.
Okay. When Samoa Joe came, of course, that was the one that was the second. That was in the second announcement. The first announcement was Billie Kay, and that was the first real thing. Like, how are we releasing Billie Kay when she just had not only had a WrestleMania moment, she was on TV every week. It felt like her character was building. She had a gimmick, and we always talk about if you have TV time, that is the most valuable thing that they can do with you in the company. And so that was the most shocking thing for me because I felt like that was somebody that didn't deserved or earned her release. As far as Samoa, when Kalisto, that's another confusing one as well because WWE is searching for their quote unquote Latin Hispanic superstar main wrestler, and you not only do you get rid of or let Andrade walk out of your finger grips, you get rid of Kalisto now, and these are two of the most talented wrestlers, Latin wrestlers they have. Like we forget how talented Del Sol is, right? Like we forget that, and he really is, and he got in the best shape of his career. And I thought, he was possibly edging onto something, but that was most shocking to me. But then you seen Peyton Royce, and it was like, when you look at the women's division and you look at the women's tag team title division, specifically on the main roster, they broke up, and no pun intended, the most iconic tag team group next to Sasha and Bayley that they had. Like, they were a real tag team. They came into the business together. They came into the company together. They came to NXT together. They came up to the main roster together. They attacked Charlotte Flair after Mania. Like, they were over as a tag team. So you break them up, and then you don't do anything with Peyton. And then you strap Peyton to Lacey Evans, and then you put, like we just talked about with Billie Kay, and then Peyton Royce finally has a breakout moment and cuts a promo. And yes, it was a little sloppy, but it still garnered the attention and it was trending worldwide on social media. She was doing all of the right things, and you still cut her into the word on the internet being that it was because of Kevin Dunn not getting Billie Kay. Like, these are things that as fans, we just may not understand because we're not in the company. But those are the things that really took me back. Samoa Joe, I was pissed, but then when I heard that he wanted to get back in the ring and they wouldn't clear him, you guys all know I'm about the health of a person first. So, Hey, go out there and wrestle for somebody that clears you. And if it is, they will always welcome you back if it's okay. But if not, then, hey, man, it is what it is. I want you to be healthy and living life. At least you should have kept him announcing, by the way, and should have kept him with up, up, down, down. That's going to hurt me most, that he's not with up, up, down, down anymore.
Yeah, that's a bummer for sure. I'm just going to address something in the chat. That person is no longer working for this website, so yeah, I don't know what to tell you, my dude. He's not here anymore. Anyway, Jimmy, what'd you think of these releases when you heard them? What was going through your head here?
You know what? I feel like with everyone, whenever there's a mass news of releases, we're always surprised by these names. But then you have to remember, like, WWE is in the habit of releasing very talented people all the time, which I'm not saying is fair, but it makes you question why exactly this happens so frequently. And at this point, you're not wondering, I guess creative didn't have anything for them. It's not a matter of that. It's the fact that creative doesn't want to come up with anything for them, which still doesn't make any sense because you're literally paying these people to be on your roster and you saw something in them to begin with. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hired them. So why can't you work with them to give them something as opposed to just like, we don't feel like doing anything. They're pitching us. They're on the chopping block now and they're gone.
Yeah.
Especially like what Neeson said, we literally just saw Billie Kay like in the last few weeks pushing her resume gimmick, and we saw Samoa Joe announce on WrestleMania. Like some of these names, I understand. Like honestly, I'm shocked that Bo Dallas wasn't released last year when Michael McGill had cut or Axel or Curtis Axel was. I was sure the B team was getting let go at the same time, but it didn't happen. I had assumed maybe it's a Bray Wyatt thing, but who knows? It also makes me wonder how many of these people may have actually asked for the release and they just got lumped together, because they probably saw the writings on the wall where if it's WrestleMania time and creative's not going to come up with anything for me, maybe I should just move on to greener pastures. I mean, we're also at a point where, as you said, Pingle, like, this time last year, everything was uncertain. But right now, Impact's back. NWA Power's back. AEW's been running. So
Ring of Honor.
Other options now. You have the collective, the entire collective. So like you have all these different options now. And now that, vaccinations are rolling out, your options are no longer limited, and you have the chance to broaden your horizons. And if you get brought back, you get brought back.
Yeah. And I want everyone to brace themselves, because I'm about to say something that might seem weird. Charlotte Flair missed WrestleMania because she basically, it's rumored that she said, either release Andrade or I'm also going to walk. And they said, well, fine, we'll release him, but you're going to miss WrestleMania. And she said, that's fine. So that's the rumor that is going around. I know they said she had COVID, but that is a rumor that's going around. If that rumor is true, how pissed must she be? If that rumor is true. I read it before they announced that she had COVID. It was announced like 2-3 days before that. That's the reason she just mysteriously disappeared from it.
Well, why would she be mad if it is true? Because they released them, right?
Right, but she had to, basically push come to shove with it. Yeah, she had to miss Mania, if that is true. And I don't know if it is, but it's just like, she dug her feet in the sand for him. And then they're like, yeah, fine, we'll release him, but you have to miss Mania. And then they ended up releasing like a bunch of people a week or two later.
Oh, you mean, okay, that's what you mean. But who have, this is toss-up question, guys. Who have they released that actually made it outside of the company besides Moxley? And that wasn't a release, by the way.
I mean, I think Brody Lee would have.
Yeah, Brody's probably the only one on that list as far as star power coming off of those releases.
And that's not like a,
Yeah.
I legitimately think he had a good thing going. I think he would have been one. Other than that, Kenta, I think Kenta's another one.
I unfortunately disagree about Brody and disagree about Kenta. I think Brody had the most potential to, but I don't think he was at the place where people thought. I think the whole Mr. McMahon, Mr. Brody Lee gimmick didn't pop off the way it was supposed to. Not announced him. It was also during a pandemic, right?
Right.
So I just think the potential was there, but it didn't. Kenta, I mean, I don't watch enough New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I do feel when things cross over well to like more American television. I just haven't felt his name wave back besides one point when he popped up on AEW.
Right.
Like we're talking, I'm gonna go somewhere and make myself a star type of like only person you could say is Moxley. Like they haven't missed. And I think as much as we love these people, like I'm rooting for them completely. And even the Good Brothers, like these people are making names for themselves, but you can't say the Good Brothers are one of the best tag teams in the world. You can't say that. Like
I wasn't about to. I was going to say they have a team that every week says they're the greatest tag team in the world, and they just sit there and go, "Yeah, it's true."
Right?
They don't even disagree with it.
It's mind-boggling that I want Peyton Royce and Billy Kay to pop up somewhere and become literally the talk of the town, like across like undeniably the best wrestling tag team in the whole world. And I want that to actually happen so WWE could be like, damn, we really missed the boat. Like Drew McIntyre. Right? Like Drew McIntyre went out and killed it.
He was amazing on the indies. He was
killed it. And they were like, oh, we missed the boat. Come back.
I mean, technically that happened with Chris Hero as well. They released him, and then he just was like, all right, I'm just going to do my thing and become, the best wrestler on the independents. And then they brought him back. Yeah.
Like Cody Rhodes had a run, right? I think, unfortunately, not even unfortunately, but with AEW, and it's a different thing now, and he's said he's not looking to be a wrestler and all those things. Like but it's nobody that they have released that really has been like that is making them be like, damn, we really effed up there.
So I also think it still needs time, because if we're talking about the wrestlers who were released last year, they're still not on a full like indie schedule, so to speak. Independent promotions are just still slowly coming back, so they don't have the platform as big as they normally would if there wasn't a pandemic.
What is Matt Cardona doing?
He's on Impact.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is he? And I mean, like, is he like?
Yes.
Anybody tune in to watch Impact for Matt Cardona?
Well, you asked. That's a different question, though.
No. That's what I mean. I'm like, is he like? Is it that was it was a heavy is he like? Because does anybody like tune in to watch Matt Cardona? Yeah.
So I guess.
Are we going by star power, or are we going by just them finding work? Because I'm more.
Oh no, yeah, we're not. We don't care. We want everybody to find work. We're talking about. We don't. WWE does not care if like they release somebody and they go find work somewhere else. That is not the question. We're talking about star power. We're talking about going out there and actually like having another company be like, damn, we really missed the boat on this person. Like that person was like how WCW saw Chris Jericho. They all said like, damn, like we probably should have kept that guy. Like something like that.
Do you think you don't think Samoa Joe's that?
Oh, I 1,000% agree. I think Samoa Joe's that. That's why at the top. I just think hopefully he's okay enough to wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very concussion prone is I think his big thing. I mean, I guess we could play the where do you want to see these people go game if you want. We could do that real quick. If Neeson, you want to just go down the list. I'll read the names, and do you just want to
go ahead?
All right, Samoa Joe.
New Japan.
You want me to go to New Japan? Jimmy, what do you think about him going to New Japan?
I'd like that. I feel like if Ring of Honor were, a little bit better right now, I would have said Ring of Honor to begin with, but I think New Japan beats that.
I personally would like to see him go to Noah instead of New Japan. That's just me. I think
I want to see Joe and Shingo. That's all I want to see.
Oh yeah, Joe and Shingo would be great. I think I
want Joe and Jeff Cobb.
Joe and Cobb would be amazing.
Goto.
Him and Goto, him and anybody basically, except for Will Ospreay, because fuck that guy. But yeah, I think there's a lot of great matchups, and Matthew does make a good point. Joe does have that relationship with Impact, and Impact did treat him pretty well. But Neeson,
the only reason I don't want him to go to Impact is because it's Impact. I feel like Impact isn't Joe. Financially, he may get treated okay, may have a cushion job, like I'm granted, but is that gonna work in a symbiotic relationship where they could both be put on a bigger stage? The reason why I said New Japan is because it's international, so he would instantly bring more. They could use him at New Japan Strong, and like it could be more there than just in like just the history and Impact. Impact doesn't even have crowds yet. Like
Yeah.
They're piping in sound into an empty studio. Like it's different.
Yeah, I think Hunter, did you get my question? Do you think Samoa Joe will get okay, great. That's a great question. That's what we want. We want to know where people are going to get injured next, because that's what we're all about here.
If you're going to get injured, it doesn't matter where you are. You just happen to get injured.
I think he might go to AEW. I could see that, because I think if anything, AEW is the like, hey, look what we did with your dude.
Yeah,
basically.
I think that's what everyone's looking at. They're like, who? It's not a matter of if people show up in AEW, it's who will show up in AEW.
Yeah.
And my only problem with that is that AEW already has an embarrassment of riches of talent, and they're all on Elevation or they're on Dark, but they rarely see Dynamite time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
third Dark. We're gonna get a third Dark coming up here. And I mean, technically, they still don't have that other show that they've been saying we're going to be getting that's going to be on Turner Television. So
I just think it's funny because Dark was originally, went before the pandemic, was just 1 or 2 matches that was for the in-house crowd before Dynamite tapings. Now it's like 2 hours long.
If that, it's sometimes longer. But let's, Danny, what's going on, my friend? Danny says he wants to see the Iconics in AEW. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Is this solely based on somebody's husband working there, or you think that would definitely be the best fit for them? Could you imagine if they were a part of Britt Baker's little stable?
I think not only would it give an injection to the women's division, which I could say they are trying. They're now. Yeah. I feel like now they're trying. I feel like the Jade and Red Velvet. I know that's not on the docket to talk about tonight, but the Jade and Red Velvet match was, again, they're trying to highlight these women and they're trying to build them up and have them connect with people. But you inject them with the Iconics, like it's instant. It is instant must-watch television on Wednesday nights, hands down. Billie Kay on the mic. She's always been that person on the mic, the charismatic one of the group. Yes, Peyton Royce and Sean Spears are married. That will be great as well. But now you legit have enough women to have a tag team division and have actual feuds going forward. So please, Iconic, go to AEW.
I mean, I could also see them going to Impact. They do have the Knockout Tag Team titles, and I think that would be interesting as well. But I think AEW, I feel like Impact's women's division is pretty good right now. I don't really think I think they know what they're doing with it. I think they have a good grasp on it, and I feel like AEW could use some more help. Mickie James, do we think Mickie James heads maybe to NWA Power?
Absolutely.
Yes.
She has NWA power for sure.
I think the most interesting one is, where is Kalisto going to go?
Kalisto's another one that could pop up anywhere. I think
I could see him in Best of Super Juniors. Sorry to cut you off. I could see him in Japan or something like that. That would be interesting.
I think he should do that. I think that should be his road to wherever he goes to next, because he's beyond talented. He had, he may not be the best on the mic, but I think he has enough charisma and ring to get over in something like a New Japan, Best of Super Juniors. He could go back to Mexico. He could go, he could try. Him and Andrade could be world travelers and get over anywhere they want.
Yeah, I see him, making the rounds to as many indie companies as possible without needing to sign anywhere. Because, that's pretty much how he made his name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is Kalisto the first entrant in the 2021 Battle of Los Angeles?
Oh, my God.
I tweeted this.
Friday has to be.
I tweeted this earlier in the week, actually the day of the releases. I said, just imagine if the first show back at PWG's a mystery vortex.
I would lose, dude. That would be crazy. Well, technically, I guess they could just because I'm pretty sure I still have my ticket from the Kobe show that never was.
As do I. So I will be at whatever the first show back is.
Same.
So
man, if it's Mystery Vortex, that's wild.
Mystery Vortex, we're all going to be wondering, and it's going to, they're going to blow our minds with whoever they bring in.
I finally, just to go off topic a little bit, I finally got to go to a Mystery Vortex this last time when they had Deppen and Orange Cassidy show up and a couple of other people, and that show was so fun. It's just a great concept for a show, but they got to fill those tag team titles. They got to find a team to win those tag titles. Anyway, do we think Bo Dallas is? I don't even know what his deal is. I know he's hanging. He has a farm now. I know that much.
Bo Dallas is living a perfect life. So
he's probably good.
He's good. He's going to be like Ted DiBiase Jr. Like, he had his run and it wasn't great because they couldn't find anything for him, and that's it.
Mojo. Do we think Mojo shows up anywhere? Do you think we see the Hype Bros come back in Impact?
No.
Do we care?
I wish Mojo well in his future endeavors.
All right. Wesley Blake also just released. He could maybe find his way to teaming with his former forgotten son, who was also released earlier, and maybe they could actually be. I don't know. Do we care?
Wait.
I mean, he could. I mean, because of who Steve Cutler is dating, they could pull him to Impact.
Them at Impact, yes.
Yeah, so maybe if the two of them show up on Impact, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Matthew thinks Mojo's going back to the NFL. I think he might be too old, my dude.
Yeah. I think he'll just be partying with Gronk, and that's about it.
Yeah. This is an interesting one because I feel like she might have had the WWE equivalent of a
Madden
of a Ken Kennedy career, where it never really got started. Kennedy. But I feel like Ken Kennedy had a decent career afterwards. What do we think Chelsea Green's going?
I think Chelsea Green will probably pop back up at Impact.
Agreed.
I could see that. She has a lot of friends there.
Yeah.
A lot of friends. Like, most of her best friends work for that company. I mean, obviously her fiance works for that company. Yeah. And that company has actually always been good to her. So I can see her going back and reinvigorating it with the hot mess character again.
I could see that. Matthew, Cutler is dating someone that both I and Neeson have interviewed and has a dog that looks very similar to mine. We'll just leave it at that. Isn't she great?
And Cutler is winning at life as well, guys.
Such a just great interview. We haven't even talked about yours, but
yes,
so nice.
That's all
I want. I just want to interview nice people and talk about dogs and have them succeed.
Right.
What do we think? Tucker was very on Twitter after he got released.
Just gotta wait for that High Spots interview. It's coming.
Oh, he's cutting the shoot interview, brother. That is happening for sure. He was already doing it as soon as he got released on Twitter. Do we think Tucker does anything anywhere? Or do you think he might just be like, you know what, I'm done?
No. I don't think he does anything anywhere. I think, he may do some indie shots or something like that, but he'll have to, for me personally, in my opinion, he'll have to show how his value.
Have to show they messed
wrestling.
up.
Yeah, like that's something. Look, I saw Big Hat Cass over the WrestleMania weekend, and I saw him work. He looked amazing and incredible. And word is he's very, very. When I say the WWE people that was backstage with him, all love him. Like, they were literally just like loving him. It was a thing of, it was love. And so, is Tucker going to be something like that? I would hope, but I don't see it.
Big cast for sure on that redemption arc. Didn't he just do it? He did an interview with with oh my God, what's his
Benoit?
name? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, so it was over WrestleMania weekend. He did the interview with Chris Hemsworth. Yes.
Nice. Very cool. All right, let's move on. We were talking about Impact a little bit throughout that, but something that caught my eye, and I'm very interested to tune in and see, is Mauro Ranallo is going to be calling the Kenny Omega Rich Swann main event at Impact Rebellion, which is this coming Sunday, live on pay-per-view. Guys, I don't know how you guys feel about Mauro, because I will say the IWC, either half of them, I actually at this point it's probably, when I see it, 80% of them don't like his announcing style and 20% of them really, really like them. I will say I'm in that 20%. I really like Mauro. I've seen a lot of stuff that he does outside of the ring that I just really applaud him for. And I personally enjoy him. I think this is great. This makes me want to watch the match even more than I already wanted to. He also did put out 2 videos that said like 5 things Omega needs to do to win and 5 things Swan needs to do to win. And you know, it's just Mauro just talking about the wrestlers and what they need to do. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm pretty excited. And I guess a question I have on top of that is, if Mauro Ranallo was to become Impact's permanent announcer, would you tune in weekly because of that?
To your question, no, that wouldn't be the reason I would tune in solely weekly because of that. I do love Mauro. I do love the fact that Mauro is only calling the main event. I think that's smart of Impact, because it makes people want to tune in to the main event and not just be like, oh, I'm just going to get this pay-per-view or whatever the case. It makes them feel like it's a special thing, that they don't just have to catch the highlights on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever the case. Like, yo, I have to sit through this match because it's special, because Mauro is calling. I need to hear it from top to bottom. So it is a smart approach to it. And I think I literally think he's going to go down as one of the great announcers in WWE and in pro wrestling in general. Outside of, and that's not counting outside of all the Bellators or, you know, special events he does, the Showtime boxings and et cetera, et cetera. Like, he's incredible. And I'm excited that he's back in wrestling, and that it's like he's a special attraction as well.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Mauro announce this. And, you know, I don't really get a chance to watch Impact all that frequently because of time and whatnot. But I would be way more inclined to watch it if Mauro was calling it, because honestly, I kind of get very tired very fast of D'Lo and Matt Striker. They just make every match that they're calling seem like it's the most important match of all time, regardless of what match they're calling. And it's like too much. Like, I get it. You guys are really big fans of this person, but you're not going to sell me on the fact that you think TJP is pound for pound the best wrestler in the world. Not happening.
For numerous reasons.
But like, I feel like with Mauro, because he's done Bellator and he's done boxing, I feel like, you know, he lends a lot more credibility. On the other side of the coin, I will say that, you know, there are times I do think he can be a bit much, and I would prefer, like in the past, seeing him just announce only takeovers and not weekly NXT. So maybe he only does the second hour of Impact or something like that.
Oh, do a little WCW, huh?
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this pay-per-view. We'll see if I don't know. I don't want to fast forward to if we're going to do a blow for blow review of that next Sunday, but I will not make any promises on that. We'll at least talk about the results. We'll say that. We need to move on to Impact. We got 2 points of interest to talk about. The Young Bucks, the new nasty Young Bucks.
AW.
What did I say?
Impact.
Oh my God. Guys, it's been a long day. We're gonna move on to AEW. Young Bucks, the new nasty Young Bucks, wearing the Neeson.
Wearing the Jordan 1 Christian Dior's limited edition that are now probably, I think, sitting around 12K to 13K on your StockX. I don't know what's going on, guys.
That was your alert to buy them. That's what,
right. Yeah, and my phone is actually on whatchamacallit.
Silent.
Is it an Albert? Is it an Amber Alert or something going on, guys?
I just checked. I don't have one. I was just gonna. As soon as you said it was on silent, I'm like, maybe.
I was gonna turn to Batman and go save whoever need to be saved. But yeah, these are Christian Dior. I try to get them. Jordan 1s, Christian Dior shoes. They're limited editions. They're probably sitting at around 12 to 13K on your StockX or GOAT app, which is your secondhand shoe selling place. That's the only way you can get them now, unless you know somebody. And they also have to match. At least Matt has chandelier headband, so they're very hillish. They're hilly
upside down.
Yes.
Now, I love the however it is. I love the way it's being worn. I love shitty heel Young Bucks. I love them. Give me all of these. Give me all the fake Jordans. Give me all.
Do you think that they purposely had that gear made before they bought the shoes, knowing that they wanted to get those shoes?
So, fun fact, they in BTE, they've been talking about the shoes for a very long time. And that was Matt's like holy grail shoe. Before they dropped, they kept trying to get them. They're very about their Jordans. They've been more about their Jordans since the inception of AEW, since they had money. And they've been talking about it like, hey, like now we have money, like we were able to like collect shoes the way we want to. And so they actually he got gifted a pair of Dior's, and it's been this slow thing. This is why this is the gripe I have with AEW Dynamite and BTE, because they do a lot of great things on BTE, the little nuggets, and then it plays out in Dynamite. But if you're just watching Dynamite, you would never know what that means.
Yeah.
And so Matt has been doing this whole thing of like, oh, I'm buying Starbucks. I'm having my shoes up and they're the Christian Dior's and I have a tie. What do you mean? Like I'm still normal. Like I'm still the normal Matt. And it's been building to this and I love it. Now, do I love them wearing fake Christian Dior's? I love that even more. Now,
do you think they're fake?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I think they're fake because one, I mean, finding one is rare. Finding two is even more. But also, you won't wrestle in real Christian Dior Jordan 1s. Like, you would not ruin those.
And treat them like this?
Yes. You won't do that. This hurts my soul right here. Okay, and I'm a person that believes. Yeah, right. Like, because I'm a person that believes in actually wearing shoes and not just holding them up and making them prestige. Like just, I'm keeping them in a box. But those, have them be fake. Have them be fake and wrestle with them just to make people like me, well, not people like me because I enjoy it, but like people that are kind of like me, like mad, like, oh, why they can't be real? Why do they have to be fake? It's like, because they're heels. And it makes it even better because they taunt them like they're real.
I think one thing that, we talk about the Young Bucks being shitty heels and stuff like that. And obviously on being the Elite, they've been talking about shoes a lot more and stuff like that. But is this a gimmick that the Young Bucks need to get over? I feel like, and we've talked about this privately. I think this is a gimmick that you need to give to Private Party. And I think I even said to Neeson, like, I mean, I don't want to show it again, Neeson. I'm sorry. I'm just going to show it again. If you have them wrestle in shoes like this, I think a thing that would even bring it over the top is you scuffed my shoes. Hold on a second. and then you just pull out another pair. So it's like, oh, these guys are just throwing their money away, and we have to stop the match. He has to relace the shoes, put them back on, and keep going. And this feels just like something that would elevate another team instead of helping out a team that is already at the top of the game, no matter if they're heels or faces. That's just where I'm coming from.
Jimmy, I'll let you go because I do have a point, but I'll let you go to Jimmy.
Yeah, the whole thing is with Private Party's gimmick is that they're supposed to be selling you on the fact that they're VIP and they're, pun intended, they're elite. But the only thing their gimmick is showing is that they like to drink, and what they're drinking is not water. So
water.
And the most that they show about being VIP is they have a velvet rope, or they did have a velvet rope during their entrance. So
not anymore,
yeah, they don't even have that anymore. So you can't really sell this gimmick of the fact that, oh, these guys make money and they need to flaunt it, but they haven't done any of that. And the fact is, they're now even part of the Hardy family office where they're supposedly making more money, but there's not a lot flaunting any of it. So their gimmick is completely wasted on themselves.
Yeah, I think the Young Bucks did need it. And I think they needed it because they were just the Young Bucks. Like, it was just, oh, the Young Bucks that started AEW. Like, they go out there, hit their poses. It was the same old thing. It was kind of like, it was like if I think we're getting to that now with Street Profits, right? The Street Profits are running their course of being like just good at what they're normally doing. They're going to need to switch at something. They're going to need to hit something else or bring something else in. And I think with the Young Bucks, a lot of people got comfortable. What Don Callis has been saying in these promos, like a lot of people got comfortable with them just being the baby faces, the John Cena tag teams of AEW. Like, they get beat up, they come back and they win. Or they try to put somebody over and then they don't really pan out. So if you're going to sit there and have like the Young Bucks, if you don't want them to get stale, this is something you have to give them something. And I like that they're giving them something now. Private Party. There's nothing private about Private Party. Private Party means that it's, like Jimmy said, it's elite. It's supposed to be exclusive. It's supposed to make me have FOMO. It's supposed to make me want to get to where you're at. It's supposed to make me want to be in your section, be in your group, be a part of your team, or even mimic or copy that because, you know, it's a serious form of flattery. It doesn't make me want to do any of that. So, yeah, it's so if you would have took this shoe gimmick, and not even shoe gimmick, but like just the overall, like, we dress, we do this, like, this is what we do because you can't. We do this because you can't. And put that on Private Party, then they just wouldn't be Dark Order 2.0 with Matt Hardy, with Butcher and a Blade and a Bunny. It wouldn't be that. Yeah. And we've been saying that since they debuted. Is like, they're great. Like, we want them to win. We want them to succeed. But the gimmick that they're doing, like, even when they were doing like, oh, talking about, oh, look at that, Eminem is in here, da-da-da is in here. This, like, they could have kept with that and then have it at least feel like, yeah, we know you're lying, but you're lying because you want to be exclusive. Like, they're not doing anything with it. And I think we're just looking at it like, you guys have so much that you can do that you won't do. And that's the thing that's irking everybody in this stream, because we're like, guys, you're talented. You have the right name. There's so much you could do with the gimmick, and you're not taking advantage of it besides doing knockoff LMFAO entrance themes, and then even losing that and coming out to the screams of Winter Soldier as Matt Hardy's theme song. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know.
I also just, I mean, AEW creative just needs to go back and find anytime we talk about Private Party, and Private Party would be 18 million times better than it already is. I just realized they ran out of the same stadium every week, and I'm pretty sure that stadium probably has like private boxes. How have they never shown up in one of those? And also, how have they never shown up in one of those when they were touring? It's insane that has not been a thing for a group called Private Party.
You mean the Private Party should have had a private section?
Yes. It's crazy. Let's move on. Let's move on. Flobo, what's up, man? Neeson, you apparently have the after party drip.
Hey, look at Pingo saying drip.
That is the only time you'll ever hear me say it. And also, I feel like the WWE social media accounts really need to stop using it because I don't know. Well, I mean, just in general, they use it for like, I've seen it for like 20 different things. I'm like, all right, guys, calm down.
Guys, there's a show coming out on TBS called Big Trick Energy. If you don't know what's that's biting off of, it's big blank energy. This is when you know things are getting ran into the ground. When corporate media likes to play off of it. A show on TBS about tricks, about pulling pranks on people. It's called Big Trick Energy. So in WWE is using drip when they got Johnny Drip. They not even doing anything with Dripachet.
Dripachet.
And there was another person that used drip. It's dead. It's dead. It is Undertaker dead. Okay, that's how dead it is.
Wow. My God. All right, let's move on. Another match that
they could have kept being Bill of 1 ounce. Yeah. Yes.
And they're from a party where you need an invitation. Like
I honestly I think those two guys are really talented and they put on great matches. I just fucking hate their entire gimmick. I'm like every time Justin Roberts is like from a place where you need an invitation.
Matt Wild or bouncers help him get heat too big. Guys. There's your Cutler and Blake. Private Parties bouncers.
AEW. Wow. No, honestly, they should just take, QT Marshall's
I don't know.
Startup group. Take two of their startup group members and put them as bouncers. That's all they have to do.
the factory.
I refuse to call them by that name. I'm still calling them Q Team.
I'm calling them oh no, what did I call them? The Apple Dumpling Boys. That's
the Apple Dumpling Gang?
The Apple Dumpling Gang. Yes, that is QT Marshall's Apple Dumpling Gang.
Clearly, AEW just needs to look at our stream and understand that us and our watchers could book Private Party and make millions of. Imagine the shirts, imagine the merch, imagine the toys. Like they could sell a whole section. Just imagine that you could have a whole box section, a Private Party section, merch, and people will buy it. Like they can have a private party or a private section match. That's just in a skybox.
That'd be interesting. I'd be fine with that. Let's move on. We got a match that's coming up this week. It is Jungle Boy challenging for the AEW television title, or no, TNT title. I had to think about it, and I thought about it too hard, and that's what happened. So Darby Allin is defending his title against Jungle Boy this coming week. I want to take your guys' temperature on Darby Allin's TNT championship run so far. I know he main evented against Matt Hardy in a Falls Count Anywhere match and won. But I guess who would you back in this match? Do you think if should Jungle Boy win, and if he doesn't win, does it hurt him at all?
If Jungle Boy, I think this is a great opportunity for Jungle Boy, but also I feel like Darby Allin, as much like I guess the Sting thing, I feel like he hasn't had anything to make. He hasn't made the title, and the title hasn't made him.
Right.
Like, so I think for Jungle Boy, if the title were to switch hands for Jungle Boy, it wouldn't do anything at the moment. But I am happy to see Jungle Boy have a more single sort of thing and push it.
Yeah.
Because I think Jungle Boy is amazing. I think he has a lot of potential. But I just think they need to find something in a land full of heels. They need to find a heel to have Darby Allin actually sink his teeth into.
Jimmy?
Yeah, just going off of what Neeson said, I feel like Darby is just a guy who happens to have the title while all this is going on, because it's barely been a focal point with him, especially with his feud with Team Taz. It's like you could have had him feuding with Team Taz without the title and had it given to someone else. As far as Jungle Boy, if he were to win it, once again, like Neeson said, I don't think it would really do anything for him unless Jungle Boy were to be separated from Jurassic Express. Like if he was just a full-on singles wrestler, yeah, it might do something for him, but right now I don't think it would. I'm just wondering when in this match is someone going to interrupt Sting while he's outside supporting Darby Allin?
Well, I mean, Ken makes the point. We do have Lance Archer kind of hanging about still. I feel like Team Taz is still kind of sort of not really involved just because Brian Cage is like, I respect you, Sting, and that whole thing's falling apart. Hey, I'll tell you right now what would fix that if Samoa Joe just came and kicked the shit out of all of them and he became the sole member of Team Taz. I'd be 100% on board with that. But I think, and Matt in chat says, Archer could be built for a long run with that belt. And I think that would also be very interesting because he did come in with, a lot of hype. You put him with Jake Roberts, even though now we've seen that Lance might not. No offense to the GOAT, the legend, Jake the Snake Roberts. He doesn't really need him. So maybe that could be where we're headed. We're headed to Darby Lance because Lance does have an issue with Sting. I think there seems to be maybe some sort of respect there. I don't know.
I can't tell.
I can't tell.
It's like he comes out of the face tunnel and then he badmouths Sting, but then doesn't do anything except for badmouth him. So
he does come out of the face tunnel. Good call. I didn't even think about that.
The Bucks come out of the heel tunnel now because they're heels.
Because they're heels.
Yeah.
And I guess that's another point. Like if Jungle Boy wins a singles title, they're going to want to push him as a singles. And would Jurassic Express be Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus? I don't know if that team is as appealing as Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have him turn on Jake so he can get Jake can literally help anyone new. I do agree with that. I don't know if I think it was just kind of like a very oh, this is cool and new thing just to hype up Lance a little bit. But yeah, I think Jake could be used with somebody else. But I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
So our next WWE pay-per-view is going to be a Wrestlemania Backlash. We're for some reason invoking the name of Wrestlemania to promote this. I got a couple of questions. First of all, why are we doing this? This seems very strange because WrestleMania, that, like I said, invokes WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania Backlash. Are they using that name to hype it up too much? And honestly, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see what matches we have going into here. We only have one match, which is Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Do you think they kind of painted themselves into a corner? That's 3 questions. You guys can figure it out. You're smart. You're smart. You can figure it out.
I was doing my Steph Curry. Yes, and yes. I don't even honestly. I can't remember the questions you asked, but God damn it, they're all yeses. WrestleMania. The term WrestleMania has been bastardized, and I think it all started with the Saudi show. It's a WrestleMania-like event.
Could I full court time out you there?
Absolutely.
They said it's an event that I believe is bigger than WrestleMania.
Equivalent or bigger.
Yes. Which is just like, What? Like, let me tell you, that's when you know the money's good. When you're willing to be like, fuck our thing that we made like 30 years ago. This thing's gonna be better.
Hey, when you're driving an hour to go have a nice 30-minute session, you know it's a great 30-minute session, guys. Pound Town. All right, so back to what I was saying. Backlash. So Backlash has always been WrestleMania mini, right? Like it's always been Rock versus Austin, then again at Backlash, or like whoever versus this, then again at Backlash. They just never put WrestleMania in front of it. We're about to get Sasha versus Bianca Belair again. Like they already teased it. I know they teased Bailey as well, but I think we're getting that may be like as in there. But Bianca said it on Talking Smack. Like I'm willing. I would love to beat Sasha again to solidify it and show it's not a fluke. They mentioned it that Sasha's not going to start coming. And she had a promo after where she didn't say anything and she just showed the welt on her side. It was what he said. This match was stale the first time. Drew honestly needs the belt. I didn't think the match was stale, but it's for them to actually say it and put it in our face to say this is WrestleMania Backlash and it's not going to be any fans. It's going to be Thunderdome Backlash. Like
Thunderdome Lash.
Yeah, Thunderdome Lash. Like why? Why
is
do it?
So they don't. Is this so they can just leave the WrestleMania sign up and they don't have to take it down a week or like a few weeks or later?
I hope so. I hope that comes out. That's what it is.
They didn't even do, but that's the thing. Like they didn't even have this is a new Thunderdome. They was gone. They were in the Rays. Right. Now they're in the college arena. Like this is a new Thunderdome. There's no reason. It's literally no reason for them to do this besides, and this is my only guess. Brock Lesnar shows up. Like it has to be something big that can that would happen at Mania, or that would be WrestleMania like for them to have. But because remember the last time they did this, they put a tagline on SummerSlam and they said, "You would never see it coming," and everybody was like, "What are we never gonna see coming?" And the one thing that we never saw coming was Roman Reigns coming and turning heel and saying. Yes. And calling people bitches and doing the whole thing and looking like $1,000,000 with some new teeth. It was amazing. We never saw that coming. And so this is my only guess is WrestleMania Backlash. We're gonna get a WrestleMania like what is called like moment. Yes.
Okay.
You know, like I feel like, you know, when it comes to Backlash, everyone knows, like even before this year, everyone knew that the Backlash was from WrestleMania. So putting the WrestleMania on the Backlash just seems pretty redundant, but I get it. It's branding. And I think they're just trying to sell it on the WWE network being on Peacock. They just want to like, oh, well, if someone's just scrolling through Peacock and they see something else referencing WrestleMania, but I watched nights 1 and 2. So what's this? Oh, it's WrestleMania Backlash. I guess I'll watch this. That's my only reasoning to justify this. But other than that, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Last thing we're going to talk about is WWE is going to try and have fans at SummerSlam. So that's towards the end of July. There they all are. Not wearing masks and not complying. No, I'm kidding. That's from a while ago. How do we feel about this? I know, you know, vaccines are in full effect here. We're still social distancing and doing all that stuff. Do we feel like personally, I do like that they're kind of, it looks like they're saving it for the big four. So just right now. How do you guys feel about fans at SummerSlam? Neeson, I know you were at WrestleMania. How did you feel amongst the people?
Whatever that cup is. I love the idea of them having fans at SummerSlam. I think one thing that wrestling is missing, of course, as we all know, is fans. But I think more specifically, and the impact that fans have with WWE is special. It's a special energy with WWE and fans, because it's either as kids you're down with everything, but then as adults you feel like you could really change the outcome. And it's not like with AEW where it feels like, like we're all in on this sort of thing. Like it's all of ours. But WWE is this thing of like, no, they're the corporation, and hopefully they give us what we want. So I just think them not having fans is impacted them a lot. But I think it's a great move. It's going to be in August sometime. The vaccine thing, it's weird because by then a lot of people's vaccine have worn out. A lot of antibodies have been worn out by then. So I think we're going to be in a whole different world by the time we get to summer. And just the way that goes. But I think it's with social distancing like they did at Mania, which I thought was fantastic. Look, of course, people tested positive. I know people heard the news about that. Of course, people are going to test positive at Mania weekend or anywhere, anytime, because people are always going to test positive for COVID. It's just that inherent risk that you would have to take. So hopefully it's at an outdoor stadium. I think this would be great for them to do some type of outdoor stadium and socially distance everybody, possibly get up to like 40,000 because the numbers would be up by then. And just imagine a 40,000 attended stadium for SummerSlam. Like, I think that'd just be incredible. It'd be like watching how we saw Royal Rumble, the last Royal Rumble 2020, like at a baseball diamond. So I love it. I'm for it. And Nick Khan said it, which is their new CFO, or whatever he is. He's some CEO or whatever he is up there. But from CAA, and side note, when they hired him, I was like, oh my God, they're really going to go after like some big stuff. And he's been doing some incredible stuff. So kudos to them, man. And I hope they continue doing it for the Big Four, like you said.
Yeah, I'm all about having a crowd for the Big Four, as long as, whatever safety protocols are taken. Because these are the events that need to feel big. And if we can allow people to be in the audience, then I'm all for it, because it was weird watching WrestleMania and then to go back to the Thunderdome on Monday. It was like jarring. It's like, oh, I just got used to seeing people in the crowd again, and now I'm just going back to seeing faces on screens. And it kind of lost its appeal, especially with the fact that it's the Raw after WrestleMania. When I turned it on, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is the Raw after WrestleMania. But it didn't feel special at all, because it didn't have that post-WrestleMania crowd. So...
You mean the Viking Raiders didn't make you feel like it was Raw after Mania? That big pop? You didn't pop for them? You wasn't going...
How dare you?
I'm sure I did pop for them, but it was a reaction that they recorded like about 7 months ago. So close enough.
Jimmy's voice is now part of the WWE universe. They can use it however they see fit.
However they see fit. I mean, that's why I popped up on multiple times. I'm like, I'm definitely not even on the computer right now. But yeah, like if we can get fans whenever they can be made available, then yeah, for sure. Obviously, Big Four is the biggest, are the ones that need it for it to happen. So yeah, let's see what happens with SummerSlam and then Survivor Series.
All right. We got anything else before we wrap up here?
Nah, that was pretty.
I will say, I think it's a damn shame that they took out the first half hour of WrestleMania Night 1.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I literally watched that yesterday, and then I found out later in the day that they took it out. So I had just watched it before it was removed, and those are some of the best promos that a lot of those people have cut in a long time.
They're great.
And it's like, oh, well, we can't acknowledge the fact that there was rain. It's like, who cares? Like, this is a lot of your talent's best work, and now we have to go to YouTube to try to watch the stuff.
Yeah,
I would tell people to make sure to just record every like first thing that they do, because it's gonna all be a Mandela effect in a few minutes. Like, we're just gonna be like,
yeah,
did that happen? No, that didn't happen. Yeah, it did. It did, didn't it? And then we Google it and it's nothing there, and then we're all gonna feel crazy. So
yeah, I mean, Sinbad was in Kazam, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
I will say our Scott Hall interview is live. That I did with Scott Hall and WrestleCon, where if we're talking about shoes, he showed off some fantastic Jordan custom ones, NWO Outsiders, which Pingle brought up to me that I have interviewed the Outsiders and 2 out of the original 3 NWO members, which blows my mind, which I will never interview all of them, but I did it. I even interviewed Virgil. Like I interviewed, like, so it's crazy. It's crazy. What a life. But definitely go check out that Josh Barnett's interviews live as well, where he actually commented about the Jake Paul and Ben Askren match that happened yesterday. So yeah, those 2 interviews are up and more to come. Just stay tuned.
Awesome. Jimmy, what do you got?
I got nothing. Just go out there and get vaccinated, people.
There you go. Yeah, I don't got anything either. There are all of our socials. I mean, I know Neeson and I are going to be probably playing MLB The Show coming up soon. That should be interesting.
Tuesday.
We got to stream that. This is my puppy, Camilla. For those of you that are like, where did this dog come from? She's been here the entire time. She just woke up. I don't got anything else. I mean, thanks for joining us, guys. This was a lot of fun. Make sure you check out facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, youtube.com/that#show TV, twitch.tv/that #show, and instagram.com/THS.wrestling. But most importantly, that#show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Bye. I miss you, Tegan. Bye, Tegan.